Okay, today we're going to look at percent of change. Percent of change, this should be reviewed for middle school. The percent of change formula is the amount of change over the original amount. That's the formula. For the first example, we're going to find the percent of decrease. We have a sweater that decreased from this price of $29.99 to $24.49. We need to find the percent of decrease. Well, for our formula, it's amount of change over original amount. Well, in order to find the amount of change, we need to find the difference in $29.99 and $24.49. If we go ahead and subtract $29.99, subtract $24.49, that will give us the amount of change. And then we put it over the original amount. The original amount, the sweater actually started at $29.99. So we divide by $29.99. So if we take the difference in $29.99 minus $24.49, you get $5.50. So we divide $5.50 by $29.99. And you get a decimal. You're going to get the decimal 1.1834. Okay, so, and then you're going to turn that into a percent. So to do that, we multiply this by 100, and that will give us 18.3%. And then it's a decrease, so I'm going to draw an arrow down because the sweater went down 18.3% in price. Okay, so that's how you find the percent of decrease. Really, you just kind of use the formula. All right, so now let's look at the price of increased. The price of increase. In 1990, there were 1,330 registered alpacas in the United States. By the summer of 2000, there were 29,856. What is the percent of increase? So first, we want to find the amount of change. Back in 1990, there were 1,330. In 2000, there were 29,856. So 29,856 minus what they had in 1990, which is 1,330. That's the amount of change divided by the original. That's back in 1990. There were 1,330. So if we plug that into our calculator, okay, you're going to get 21.45%. But then you have to turn that into a percent. So that's actually just the decimal, 21.45%. You have to multiply that by 100 to actually get the percentage. And you can actually have a percent of increase be bigger than 100%. Because this increase, when you multiply it, it's going to be 2,145% increase. So you always have to remember that last step of multiplying by 100. Whatever you get in your calculator, you need to multiply by 100. So that's it, the percent of increase. Okay, so now let's look at example 3. Finding each percent of change, describe the percent of change as an increase or decrease, and if necessary, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so on each of these, we're just going to find percent of change, the amount of change. So we have 32 minus 16, and you can do bigger number minus smaller number to get that change. Divided by the original amount, which is 16. Okay, so we get 32 minus 16 divided by 16. That's going to give you 1. And then you got to multiply that by 100, so you get 100%. And then you have to do an arrow. Since we went from 16 to 32, that's an up, so that's an up arrow. We increase. Okay, 40 to 21. We take 40 minus 12 divided by the original. The original is 40, because that one comes first. So 40 minus 12, you get 28 over 40. Divide those numbers, you get 0.7, multiply it by 100, and you get 70% We're going from 40 to 21, so that is a decrease. All right, so let's go ahead and do the last one. The last one, we have 1,513 people to 2,345 people. If we take the change, we get 2,345 minus 1,513 divided by the original, which is this number, 1,513. You get 832 on top, divided by 1,513. You get 0.549 times 100. That's going to give you 54.9%. And then that's going to be an increase. And that is how you find percent of change. It's relatively pretty easy to do as long as you know the formula. Thank you for listening.